Hey, many of us spend our days in climate controlled buildings behind the scenes, maybe locked in cubicles of our workplaces. Now and then we get a little bit of a restaurant experience, but nature is very far off from us. Research now shows that our connection to the natural world has declined by more than 60% in recent decades worldwide. For busy professionals and those feeling the weight of burnout, this is just an environmental concern. It's now becoming a personal one because time in nature has been proven to reduce stress, sharpen focus, improve sleep, and
Yeah,
foster emotional balance. Yeah, you were saying?
I can say yes to that. It's true. Reduce
Stop
stress,
showing off.
absolutely.
Hey, makancane, man. Hey. All right, man. We're going to be speaking to Heleen Louw, who is a psychotherapist around the positives of being in the natural world. Heleen, welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Palesa, my colleague here, has been showing off
Yeah.
because she comes from nature, and she's been smiling and giving me looks today because I stayed behind in the city. Let's talk a little bit about our city scenario first before we go to nature. It gets busy in the city. There's so many demands, and sometimes we get locked into that environment that feels like a cycle of the same things: our debts, our payments, our responsibilities. But also, we just feel so far away from nature.
Absolutely. Do you want me to respond to that?
Yes, go ahead.
Um, Absolutely. We work on chrono time. You will
Mm,
know that. It's your time, your clock, your diary. Everything works on chrono time. And that is a very fast time. So what we really need to do is now and then tap into Kairos time, which is be present here now and
mm.
slow down.
What? Yeah.
So we unfortunately we that's what's happened with our lives when especially when we live in the city.
Mm,
It's busy, busy, busy. There's goals to reach. There's pressure. There's stress. There's traffic. There's all kinds of things that puts us into this almost like a trap,
mm.
and it's very hard to get out of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's talk about what you mean by the chrono time. What does that term mean?
it really means that they have different times, and the tempo is different. So chrono time is the fastest time. It's when you look at your watch and look at it, it's 12:22, or it is 1 hour before my meeting. That's the chrono time. That's the outside time. While Kairos time is sort of the inside time. It's like how your natural flow, how you adapt to uh, the sun's coming up, the sun's coming down.
Mm.
It's this season outside. I must wear this. This is more Kairos time, being present in now,
Yeah.
not chasing something, not worrying about something. Just be here now.
Mm. Well, don't we wish, Helene, that we were living in that time? But unfortunately, in order to live where we live right now, in the world that we do, we need to make money. And obviously, we've glamorized the city life in a way that, offers us the work that we want, the career, and, the ladders that we want to climb up, and also the money to do the things that we want to do. And of course, we've glamorized the city living, right? Going and staying in a nice place. There must be no grass. There must be maybe it must be a penthouse and it must be high up. Maybe you'll have a plant or two, but is that enough to actually connect with nature? What does that term mean these days? What is connecting with nature in the context of the city life?
In the context of a city life, is that the first thing I want to say to you, yes, we have our breath. That's the first thing that we have, one of the most natural things that we have, and we forget to breathe. In fact, we don't pay attention to our breath. So that's already something that one can do to just become aware of your own tempo, your own natural rhythm. But it is a duality to have we have to pay bills, we have to work, we have to feed our kids, and we have goals and all kinds of things. And at the same time, we're running around. It feels like we're running around the clock, and indeed we do. But I think what we've lost sight of the bigger part of us. Uh, we live in a world, we come from this world, and the Greek word is oikos, which is my home. But we don't actually spend a lot of time in our home anymore. We have our flat or our place where we stay, we have our workplace, and so we just running. So you absolutely right. It's difficult to find that balance. So I think an ideal thing would be to schedule time in nature. And if you want to, I can tell you a little bit more about that, what you do when you are in nature.
Yeah.
But in the
Yeah.
meantime, we have a window that we can look out. We have plants, maybe. We have background music. Maybe we have some water feature.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a poster. Maybe we make sure we have one fresh pot of flowers in our office once a week. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are many ways to try and bring nature in, just to take us out of this almost like a rat race.
I mean, one thing that I do is that I don't eat the crumbs of my bread. What I do with them is that I always sprinkle the crumbs of them and put them out there in my garden. And I always love to see the birds fighting over those crumbs. So there are simple things like that you can do to kind of connect with nature. But planning, let's talk a little bit about planning for that time away in nature. You were speaking about how important that is. Could you elaborate on that?
I think firstly, I want to say to you that nature is omnipresent. It's in our breath, it's in our body, it's in our senses. So the first point is to really start paying attention to that. If you drive away from your flat in the morning and you see the sunrise and you have a chance, have a little look at that, the sunrise or the colors, because that, believe it or not, it goes back to your brain and it turns, okay, this is day starting. So when I see the sunset, it's night starting. So it almost contribute to wonderful sleep. So it's so simple like that. So, but when you have a chance to go into nature, it's incredibly important that you do that, because we are naturally, everything in us is so open for nature. So our atoms harmonize in nature, while in a city life, in a building, in cement, glass, whatever, it struggles to get that. We are naturally born to be open to nature, and we can tap into that within minutes. Our blood pressure is lower, our stress levels are lower, we feel better, we our senses come alive, we notice things. And when we notice things, what often happens when we notice something outside, it actually brings us to traverse inside. We see a beautiful tree or a broken tree, and it immediately we see the metaphor of, oh, look at this tree, it's been broken, but it found a way to actually survive this.
Yeah.
And it brings in our insights. We connect those two things.
All right, let's take a bit of a break, Heleen, and I'm interested in that, how we partake in that natural experience. At times, most of us have a city experience in the nature environment because we just don't want to run away and run away from that feeling of pausing. Running away from that silence at times is something that we do very easily, even in the wild. And how do we pause? How do we really find time to truly reflect and be genuine about our nature experience? We'll deal with that after the break. Stay there on the line, Heleen.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Keeping you on the know and on the move.
So how can we reconnect with nature, even with the demanding schedules that we live in as city people and trying to climb up the corporate ladder? We're speaking about this with psychotherapist Heleen Louw, who offers therapy in nature, speaking about how we can find ways to reconnect. Heleen, I was away for a few days, as Benjamin mentioned, and I was in nature, but it shouldn't always take money to be in nature. And I think we have that concept, right? That if you want to go be in nature, you have to take a holiday. Not everyone can afford a holiday, neither can I, to be honest, but every now and then we try and make a plan. Are there other ways, simpler ways, less expensive ways to reconnect with nature?
Absolutely. I want to just quickly tell you something about a talk that I've listened to where people were struggling to mediate something and they just couldn't get through to the other side. And then they asked somebody who works with nature to come and talk to them. And this person gave them, they were in the city, the parking lot, they had one tree and they had a garden with some flowers. So she sent them out and said, okay, just pay attention to nature. Let it enter you, let it calm you, and come back. And when they came back, they were in a different setup because their brain, there's parts in their brains that actually opened up, like a cooperation part. It's an open heart. It's a listening heart, and
Wow.
and it absolutely within something like 10 minutes. I think they gave it 15 minutes. So she did a talk. She sent them out for 10 minutes. They came back. They breathed a little bit, and they went on with the talks. And of course, they did find their solution. So that's how powerful it is. It doesn't have to be a forest or a whole beach and a sea, which of course that's wonderful. Um, the other thing that's wonderful, if you walk in nature, we were built for locomotion, and you yourself know we sit most of the day. We don't walk actually. We're not don't do that anymore. But especially when we walk in nature, we feel the rhythm. It's a natural rhythm in nature. It I call it getting entrainment. So it's almost like you're getting onto the train of nature, and that calms you down. But not only that, when we are in nature, if one of our senses open up, the others will open up too. If we see something beautiful, we start hearing something beautiful, and then we start to feel the soft wind on our skin, and maybe we're going to go drink a little bit of the water at the river, but we everything opens up because we are holistic beings. We're not actually linear beings. We don't fit on a graph. So when you are in nature, I just want to quickly give you a wonderful tip. If when you are in nature, is to actually pay attention to all your senses, and then you make a snapshot of that. When you see a waterfall, you hear, you see, you feel all those things, and you make a little snapshot and the feelings that you feel around that, how wonderful that is. You take that snapshot home in your mind, and then when you're at work and you're stressed, you sit down, close your eyes, and you think back to that moment you were there, and you reflect on all those things, and it immediately calms you down. So it's so powerful.
Yeah, I'm glad that you explained that the snapshot is in your mind to have memories of the feelings, because many people will just take the phone out and actually take a
I
picture
know
of the waterfall without really experiencing how all of that makes them
that.
feel. What are some of the long-term benefits of trying to schedule time in nature or for nature every day, or maybe once a week?
I think it's the benefits is that you there's not this months and months build up and a feeling of disconnection, a feeling of anxiety, a feeling of depression, a feeling of rat race and what. It's not that long before you have a little break, say once in 6 months. That's too long. So if you can regularly schedule time in nature, you calm yourself down, you gather those snapshots, you identify. I even have a wonderful questionnaire where you can identify what are the things that makes you happy in nature, and then you schedule them. If you know this is going to make you happy to sit next to a river, then you plan to go and sit next to the river. So the benefits, of course, health benefits. There's mental health benefits. There's a happier feeling. There's a feeling of belonging. There's a feeling of you're part of a bigger whole.
Yeah.
Um, Especially when you sit in a place and you see a beautiful big area, that expansiveness, you become aware of the arc of time. I mean, how old are we? And how old is this mountain?
Yeah,
How old is this tree?
yeah.
You
Helene,
suddenly realize,
so
yeah,
so we're saying all these things, and I'm wondering, like, someone would be like, so what's the point, guys? I mean, you just in nature. What does that do for your personhood? What does that do for your mind? What does that do for just regulating you as a ordinary human being?
look, it makes one feel connected. It makes, yeah, they call us a species lonely. I don't know if you know the term, because
Could
we've
you
become
explain it? Yeah.
so, yeah, we've become so disconnected. I mean, we are on internet, we are on Facebook, we are everywhere in connection with people, but they call us species lonely. Most of us are lonely, and it's because our focus is not on to the things that really connects us, like people, like our body, like our senses, um, like relationships, um, like the bigger connection of the network in nature. That's what happens. So we actually numbed that part. We forgot about it. We forgot that we come from nature.
Yeah.
So it's the most natural thing that you can do is to reconnect, reset that natural rhythm, circadian rhythm, our natural rhythm. We don't even know when it's full moon. We don't
Yeah.
know when the sun sets. We don't know when the sun rises.
Hmm.
Um, but we are, there's 80% of us in ourselves is the chemicals is the same that is in the sea.
Yeah.
Um, so we are very much nature, but we've just lost that contact with nature.
Well, we'll have to
And
wrap it up
there
there,
are,
Helene. Unfortunately,
okay.
yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I think it's a great way to wrap it up because we have learned what the benefits of nature are, and that it doesn't have to be an expensive holiday. It doesn't have to be like a hiking trip. It can be right there in your backyard as long as you're present, as long as
Mm.
you're interacting with nature in the little moments that you find, as well as the big moments that you
Absolutely.
actually get to find as well. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That is
Bye-bye.
psychotherapist Heleen Louw speaking about simple ways to reconnect with the natural world that's proven to reduce stress, sharpen our focus, improve sleep, and restore our emotional balance. Go touch some grass today.